Welcome to Lübeck. Now, Lübeck, it might just seem like any other European city with the cobbled streets and the Gothic spires, but it was once a center of one of the most powerful economic centers in the history. What you see behind me is the Hall Center. It was built in 1464 and it is a symbol of the Lübeck's might. Now, to know more about the Lübeck's history, we need to go back about 1,000 years back in time, to the 12th century. Now, this was the time when the Lübeck was destroyed in a fire. So what happened was when the founders had to re-establish the city, they were specific about the place. So they chose a place which was strategically placed between two major waterways of that time, which were the Baltic Sea and the Elbe River. The Elbe River goes to the heart of the Europe. So it's not too far away from here. The major thing that made Lübeck popular around that time was the salt. Now in the Middle Ages, salt was called the white gold. Now it was essential for preserving the food and especially for the curing fish, which was a staple food in the northern Europe. So it was the time when the Lübeck just started trading with the salt. And as it started the trade, it got a little bit of its business getting started. But salt wasn't enough to make Lübeck the powerhouse. So these warehouses stored the salt and it rose Lübeck to its prominence. So by 13th century, Lübeck was trading everything. It was trading timber, wool and grain. And it was also trading luxury goods. But the people of the Lübeck needed allies. So what happened in the year 1356 was a confederation that stretched across all the northern Europe from the Novgorod in the east to Bruges in the west. A confederation named the Hanseatic League was formed. It was practically like a nation. It had its own fleet, it had its own laws and the power to declare a war. So imagine, the people would come here all the way across from London or Tallinn and would make decisions that would change the economies of the entire nations. So Hanseatic League was very powerful and Lübeck was called the Queen of Hanseatic League because it was basically the center where all the meetings regarding the trade took place. So by 15th century, Lübeck was at its strongest. It was basically a hub of innovation. It had skilled artisans, skilled craftsmen, and it had the beautiful architecture like the St. Mary's Church. And it was also great in engineering. For example, the astronomical clock that's at the St. Mary Church, it was an engineering marvel at that time. But Lübeck was also famous for something sweet, which is the marzipan. Now, the legend says that it was built during a famine when the people didn't have the flour, so they substituted it with the almonds. Whether it's true or not, it's world famous right now. But as they say, what goes up also comes down. So Lübeck, by the end of the 16th century, Lübeck wasn't as powerful because of the new discovery of the sea routes to Americas and the Asias, the East India Company. So what happened was the trade in the Baltic wasn't as strong, and also by the end of the 17th century, due to the political struggles and the war, the Lübeck was no longer the queen of the Hanseatic League. The trade wasn't as strong. It was just a regular European town which was trying to survive in the changing world. However, in the 19th century, it became important again for the modern Germany's trade network, and the history of the Hanseatic League was preserved. Today, Lübeck is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's a place where history comes alive at every step. But it reminds me of the question that what would we leave behind looking at the cities today? So that's it for this one. I see you guys in the next one.